What's the reason for the eviction?
Non-payment of rent, Your Honor.
What's the monthly rent?
Their rent is $118.
Okay. And what months do you allege that they owe?
November and December, both full months at 118. In January, I prorated for $76.12 for a total of $312.12.
Okay.
Oh, can I just, oh,
Yes, I'll ask you.
Okay.
Ma'am, is there a reason why you were not able to meet your obligation?
okay,
Good
so,
question.
they took me in court in September, right? I paid 518, which I paid the court costs and all that. So when I came into October to try to pay October rent, because I didn't pay October, she told me that she could not take my rent because the fact that I had to pay that 20, they said that it's the 2,500 supposedly I owe, that they knocked off the 518 off of that. And so they would not take my money order. So it's actually from October because she said, well, she wasn't supposed to take the 518 because the fact that she wanted me to make the whole money order for 2,000 and something, and I was like, well, what's that for? And she said, because my rent's only 118, so if you're giving me a paper saying 2,500, but you've already taken off the 518 and plus the other five when y'all took me to court the first time for non-renewal. And so I don't know where they add up all these extra charges. So I went in, I spoke to Crystal because I was like, it's not letting me get on the portal. And I even showed her that it was not showing me anything. And she said, okay, well, it's probably IT. We'll fix it. So when they did fix it, I'm like, well, it's still saying like the 25, it's not letting me pay nothing. So when I try to go in with the money order for October, the lady told me that she could not take it. The Crystal shouldn't have taken the money order because sometimes they're open on Saturday and Sunday, sometimes they're not.
Mhm.
So I wasn't sure they're open. So I did call Crystal and I said, I'm on my way. She said, well, I'm about to leave. It was like already it was 5. She said, but hold on. She spoke to somebody else. They said, as long as you bring the money order.
Is anybody else confused? Is anybody else confused? I don't know what's going on. She is talking fast, and that should kind of be a pretty easy question to answer. Why didn't you pay $118 a month for rent? I still don't understand. Maybe I just had a long day. Maybe that's what it is. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype.
Early in the morning the next day, which I did. I took it early in the morning, and then the other lady, I guess, is in charge of Crystal said, well, she wasn't supposed to take it because she already had put the 24-hour thing, and I'm like, okay, well, she still took my money order. So when I tried to go in October to pay the 118, she was like, oh, I can't take it because you got to pay the full amount of the 25. So it started off in April at 2. Then we went to court. Then I paid what I had to pay, the 518. And then it went to like when they gave me the paper that's
Mhm.
attached to this one, it says November for 2,500.
Yeah.
So now they changed companies. So when I log into the portal, it it wasn't showing me anything. But when I was telling Crystal, because I even emailed her, I was like, well, what are all these legal fees on the amount? Because there was a legal fee for like 300, one for 400. I'm like, y'all didn't take me to court that many times to have all these legal fees. So I don't know where these legal fees are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, they were gonna fix it. But she refused my money order. And when the new owners
Oh my
came,
goodness. Oh my goodness. I get frustrated when she starts talking. I get frustrated when she starts talking. This is a genuine reaction. Goodness gracious. My brain feels like it's turning into spaghetti right now, listening to her talk.
and they were talking to me, I did tell them. I said she didn't want to take my money order. So actually, it's for October too. So I don't know if they just I don't know what happened to October. So it should have showed October because I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say, you know what I mean, that I did pay October when I know I didn't because that's a lie because they refused my money order.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
even if I pay the court cost now, I'm still gonna be in the same position because when I go and try to pay the rent again, they're gonna say I still owe that amount. So either way it goes, I'm still in a
So you had already been taken to court before?
yeah, and I paid the 518, the 400 and the 518, but she refused October's check money order because she said I had to pay the whole amount, which was the 25, like the 2,500. And I'm like, well, I'm paying what the 400 and the 118, and that's what I paid.
Well, that's a little
When I was
confusing because if your
that's
It
what
rent,
I'm
is.
saying.
Yes, this is confusing. This is confusing. I think why I'm like getting so discombobulated when she's talking is because the way my brain works, I'm trying to piece together what she's saying and I'm trying to vet it accurately and understand it ultimately. And it's driving me crazy trying to spin my wheels to try to understand what she just said. And then it doesn't help that she's like talking low and fast at the same time. And then it's no substance to what she's saying. Just my opinion.
I don't
okay,
know where they got 2,500, and she said that already took off the 518 plus
yeah,
the other five when they said that I didn't renew my lease, which I did, so that got dismissed. So they said they took off the court costs. I'm like, okay, so then you're telling me that I owe $3,000
hmm,
Please, someone
okay,
because
else.
if you go to
Cut in, please.
that page, because I have all my paperwork, so when you go to
you
that
didn't
last
submit
page,
anything. How come you didn't submit
I
anything?
I didn't know where to submit it. I was trying to look on my thing because I saved everything. I even told the new landlord, I said I have all my paperwork,
Uh-huh.
and so like, so I was like,
On
where
the
should I get?
citation that you received, it says on here, attached
What?
to this notice are additionals. Okay, it says any evidence you intend to present must
Uh,
be emailed to Rosanna Ayala, and
oh,
it's
shoot,
got
I
her.
missed that. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
you could,
because
yeah.
I have
So
yeah, because so like I have like all my things where it says like because I saved everything. So back in April it said
Oh no, don't
203,
get her
then it went
started
to
again.
364 in May, and then in June it went to 522. But then I don't have July, but then it went to August to 1236, and then from August it went to because I'm missing uh September, which is September I paid the 518, and then in October it went to 2075, and then in November it's now 2,500.
okay. So
So, so
let me ask
either way
Ms.
it goes,
Wise.
like I said,
Let me ask Ms. Wise. Ms. Wise, do you have a copy of that ledger?
Yes, I have the ledger. So it looks like she did pay in September. It does look like 518, but she still owed $1,623 after that in
Okay.
September. And then she hasn't made any more payments since then, which I understand she said that they wouldn't accept it.
Yeah.
Um, that was including there's some late fees and electric and some other fees that are included.
Okay.
yeah, there's like
Okay.
four legal fees on there.
Um, I
So,
just I just see one legal. I see one was taken off in July, and I just see one in September for legal fees and court costs.
So
okay,
where did
so it
she?
sounds like where to get the
What court?
2,500
What
from
court did you go to, Miss Garza?
then. Hold on. I have it. Just one second, ma'am. Uh,
I hope
it
she answers it
says,
succinctly.
oh, I think it's you, right, Lucy?
Yeah, that's me. You came here?
Yeah, yeah, because they said it was for non-renewal.
Okay.
So I did have an email where I was
Ma'am. Ma'am. She asked a simple question. What court did you go to? Yours. Let's leave it at that. Because when she starts going on her little tangents, goodness gracious. And it's like I'm having a hard time. It might be because her whole front row of teeth is missing. That might be the issue. I don't know.
Loretta or the other ladies where
Uh-huh.
I did renew my lease. So
Okay.
then that got dismissed, and then I in September I paid the 518, but then when
Okay.
October came, she was telling me that it was 2,000 something, like, which I have the paper here. So
Mhm.
when they take me to court this time, now it's like 2,500 plus whatever. That's what I'm saying. So if you took off the 5, and then where do you get all this 2,500? I know she's saying it's 1,000, but now on the paper that we got, it says 2,500,
Right.
2,536.
Yeah, I see that.
So even like, because you pay on the portal, so if I pay on the portal, it's not going to let me pay because it's saying that I have to pay the full amount. And that's what the lady had told me
Right.
when I tried to take in the money order and Crystal was going to take it. She was like, no, we can't take it because I need the full amount for the
Right.
25.
Right. Right. Unfortunately,
See, to preface this, the reason why the judge is able to follow all the stuff that she's saying is because she actually has the paper in front of her. So she can kind of like compare and contrast it to what's coming out of her mouth. But to just somebody listening to this, cold turkey. Goodness great. Goodness help us.
So either way it goes, I'm still in the buying that. Even if I pay like the 3 something, and she says, oh, because it's not 236, it's 3. So, because I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, you know what I mean? That
yeah.
I paid October, which I didn't because she refused the money order. So even if I pay that plus the 4, and when I go back next month to pay again, she's still gonna say, you know what I mean? She's still not gonna take my
Right.
rent. So
Yeah. Apparently, if what it sounds like to me, that you've had balances and they've been adding up,
Right.
and so since you didn't pay for November, then they went ahead and attached that, and then December, and here we are in January. Okay, so yeah, the portal won't take it. They've been instructed by corporate that you have to pay the whole amount before they let you stay. Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay.
yeah, so when they're taking me to court, they're taking me to court for the 3 something, so that's what I'm paying. You know what I mean? That's the court cost. So it's like the last time.
When she starts talking, let me tell you what I'm thinking about every time she starts talking. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. So every time she starts talking, this is all I hear. That every time she starts talking, that's what I'm hearing. Goodness gracious, ma'am.
They had 236. The rent was wrong, so they adjusted it, whatever. So then I tried to do the money order because at first I couldn't get on the portal because it wasn't
Right.
showing me anything.
It
So then
won't.
Crystal helped me, and so she helped me, and she's all like, "Well, it's gonna get fixed, but it's still, you know what I mean?"
Ms. Weiss, what's her balance? What's the true balance is she supposed to have?
I don't have the ledger through January yet. The ledger I have shows 2335.31.
25.
The one I show shows 2335.31.
Okay. Does it explain how did they get to that?
It looks like she hasn't been current with a zero balance since March 1st.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, March 1st has a zero balance, but since then she has always had a balance.
Always had a
got
balance.
it.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on, Ms. Garza, is that you
So
know,
you're
you
basically telling me
Wait,
I owe 3,500 then because if you
they
took off the 518 and
yeah,
then
they
the
carried that
5,
balance, they've carried that balance and carried that balance, and of course then you get the late fees and on top of that, and then whatever you owe as utilities, then they're tacked on. So that's how
I
it's
know that
come
that's
out to
not
that
that
amount.
much. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
not that much because my rent was only $23. So
yeah,
there's no like that's a whole lot of late fees. You go from 1,000 to 200,000 like
right.
from $20. So like
Yeah, you might want to go talk to them and have them explain to you how they came up with that amount. Unfortunately, they're only what they're the amount that I'm going to assess is what they have on here. Is that you didn't pay for November, which is 118. You didn't pay for December, 118, and then January it's been prorated to $76.12. And so I'll explain that to you. Okay. So let me go ahead and explain the process. All righty.
Before she explains the process, this is why. Just do your stuff the way you're supposed to, right? it looks equally as volatile on their side too. They're looking at, man, she pays sometimes, she don't pay, she pays partial. It's all over the place. So now you done created this chaotic cycle and ultimately this chaotic accounting. And so you don't even know, you're like, it just doesn't sound right. But you don't have anything to prove it. If you just pay your stuff on time, then you don't have to worry about that. You can catch something much easier because you say, no, I pay my stuff on time. There's no way I should possibly owe this, that, or anything else. Pay your stuff on time. You don't have to worry about this. But you've been mixing and matching the way that you pay. And so now it's just chaotic. Even you trying to explain it is chaotic and hard to follow. And so who knows? They probably just said, you know what? It's all $2,000. She owes us $2,000 for pain and suffering and trying to account for all this.
So for case 25 EV 520, Costa Tarragona 1 LTD DBA Costa Tarragona 1 versus Carmen Garza and Diamond Solis and all other occupants. I rule in favor of the plaintiff in the form of a judgment at said premises 2240 North Padre Island Drive, apartment 4302, 78408 for the amount of $312.12 of unpaid back rent. $400 is the court cost. There's no attorney's fees for a total judgment of $712.12. This is just for the unpaid back rent. Okay, this does not include any late fees. It does not include anything that for utilities
But
or
that's what
anything.
I'm saying. Like, I'm still gonna be, even though I pay that, I'm still gonna be in the same bind because you're gonna say you refuse the rent for the following month, like
Right.
they did October.
Right. You need to go talk to them and have them explain that to you. Okay. Because, obviously, like they say, Ms. Weiss just explained, you've carried a balance. The only time that you've had a zero balance was back in March. So you've been carrying, balances of whatever it is. I mean, I don't know if you didn't pay or the utilities or whatever they were charging you for, but you need to go in there and talk to them and have them explain that to you. Okay. So let me explain to you. So I'm going to go ahead and assess the appeal bond. It's going to be double it's going to be $500 for the appeal bond. Okay. So let me explain to you. I have to explain to you, this is the law. Okay. This is what the law says. The law says you have 5 days to vacate or to appeal. If you don't appeal by the 5th day and you're still in the property, then on the 6th day, the plaintiff can come in and ask for a writ of possession. A writ is an order that goes to the constables. The constables will process that paperwork, will come back to your premises and place a notice on your door that says you have 24 to 48 hours to vacate. If you're still there when they come back, then they'll ask you to leave, and whatever's in the apartment will be placed out onto the curb by the landlord. Now, you may appeal this judgment by filing a bond, making a cash deposit, or filing a statement of inability to afford court costs. Within the 5 days after this judgment is signed. I will be signing this judgment today. Okay, and this falls under the civil procedures of the Texas rules for 510.9A. Okay, again, you have 5 days to vacate or to appeal. And you can go ahead and talk to them in person and have them explain everything to you. But the law says, obviously you didn't pay for November, you didn't pay for December, and partial rent for January. So that's why you're here. Okay. So
Well, they would
again,
have taken my October money order. I wouldn't be where I'm at.
I understand, but I don't know what their procedures are. I don't know what sometimes corporate will tell them that they cannot accept your any payment until you pay what is owed, all the back payment. So I don't know what's going on.
Then I had to take my first payment, my money order for the 518 then.
No, I understand. So like I said, have them explain everything to you. Okay? We'll send a copy of the judgment to both.
This judge has the patience of a saint. She just be getting interrupted. And then the lady goes on these long tangents. Listen, let's make this nice and concise. Okay, let's make it nice and concise because it's all over the place. At the end of the day, here's what we do know. What we do know is I believe they said that her rent was $118 a month. Here's what we also know. You've been late several times with $118 rent. And now, here's what is concluded. She's getting evicted and she had $118 rent. I mean, what else could it be other than Section 8? maybe a grant or something. Maybe she has a disability, possibly, but you couldn't figure that out. You couldn't make sure that that got taken care of, that that got paid. If you had to be responsible for that portion, that tells me that they think that you can do something to be able to come up with that portion at least, right? So, what it could possibly be is that things are being mismanaged at the very least. That's at the very least. I'm really giving her a lot of slack here. I'm giving her a lot of slack because there's no way you shouldn't be able to come up with $100 and that's just your rent. So, at the very least, things are getting mismanaged. But what I think it is you're just not like, what is that? You could go work a half a day and come up with that. There's really no excuse. Let's conclude this. Let's see if there's anything else to hash out here. But to me, it's pretty open and shut. I don't think we needed all the word salad.
Both parties. Good luck, Ms.
Okay,
Garza.
they got a new owner. So when I was asking for a lease, she said they couldn't get into. They were changing all the
Right,
portal
they
and doing all
they
that
might
stuff.
have new ownership, and new ownership becomes new rules. So I don't know what those rules are, but you might want to go talk to them and have it explain everything to you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank-
Thank
Thank you, Your Honor.
What months are you alleging that she owes?
Oh, perfect. Okay. So yeah, it's just that simple. It really is no excuse that you shouldn't have been able to come up with that and make that happen. I gave her a lot of slack there. I don't know how you fumble that. How do you fumble $100 rent and end up owing so much? Like what she owed, it seems like she's been late for multiple months. And it's just been getting behind and behind. And it's been accumulating more and more. So we'll leave it there for today, y'all. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button, then it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller content creator, we actually get more points per hype. And it was designed for smaller content creators. So by hyping smaller channels, your points actually go further. And you only get 3 a week. You get them every Monday. So you got to use them wisely. And then also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.